Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here today because we are diving deep into a topic that is painful, confusing, and honestly, life-altering. The subtle, insidious ways narcissists manipulate us without us even catching on until the damage is done. You might be walking around right now, feeling unsettled, anxious, or like you've completely lost your mind, but you can't quite put your finger on why. That uneasy feeling? That gut punch of confusion? That is the hallmark signature of narcissistic manipulation. The kind that flies totally under the radar, disguised as concern, love, or even just normal relationship turbulence. We're going to peel back these layers of deception, one painful truth at a time, so you can finally see the game being played and start reclaiming your power and your reality, which is the most important step forward. The cycle almost always begins with the dazzling, intoxicating technique known as love bombing. Think of it as an emotional ambush disguised as destiny. They sweep you off your feet with intensity that feels almost supernatural. Constant texts, future planning, declaring you their soulmate within weeks. This stage isn't about genuine connection. It's a calculated, high-speed acquisition strategy designed to bypass your logical defenses and attach you through extreme emotional dependency. They are rapidly gathering data on your deepest wounds, your greatest desires, and your vulnerabilities, all while positioning themselves as the only person in the world who truly understands you, creating an emotional debt they will collect on later. When you're being love-bombed, your brain is flooded with dopamine and oxytocin, literally making you feel addicted to their presence. They are creating a highlight reel so stunningly perfect that when the inevitable devaluation phase hits, you will constantly be chasing the memory of that initial euphoria. This memory serves as the unbreakable anchor, keeping you tethered to the relationship even when it turns toxic, because you believe, deep down, that the real them, the person who bought you all the gifts and wrote those beautiful letters, will eventually return. They are building a prison for you, and the bars are made of false promises and intense initial affection. Once they know they have you emotionally invested, the manipulation shifts gears into the silent, soul-crushing phase of devaluation. This is where they start withdrawing the affection you've become dependent on, slowly chipping away at your self-esteem. They might start with subtle critiques disguised as helpful advice. "You'd look so much better if you wore this," or "Why are you always so sensitive?" These small cuts are intentional. They want to lower your self-worth so that you become less likely to challenge them and more desperate for their approval, making you easier to control and manipulate in the long run. One of the most dangerous and commonly discussed manipulation tactics is gaslighting. This is the process of making you doubt your own perception, memory, and sanity. When you bring up something painful they did, they don't just deny it, they twist the narrative completely. They'll tell you, "That never happened, you're remembering it wrong," or "You're imagining things, you need professional help." The goal is to destabilize you so fundamentally that you stop trusting your own internal compass, leaving you entirely reliant on their version of reality, making you vulnerable to every subsequent deceit. Gaslighting often involves outright lying about events you both experienced, sometimes with witnesses present, just to see if they can convince you otherwise. If you confront them with evidence, they'll pivot and attack your character instead. "Why are you so obsessed with keeping score?" Or, "Normal people don't track conversations like that." They don't want to defend their actions. They want to make you feel pathologically defective for even daring to question their behavior, thus ensuring you hesitate to bring up future grievances, effectively silencing your legitimate concerns. Another covert manipulation method is shifting the goalposts. In any relationship with a narcissist, the rules are constantly changing to ensure you never quite meet their expectations, creating a perpetual state of anxiety and failure. You finally clean the house perfectly, but suddenly the issue is that you didn't manage the finances well enough. You get a promotion, but they criticize you for working too hard and neglecting them. You can never win because the goal isn't success or happiness. The goal is to keep you running in place, perpetually striving for the impossible approval that they dangle just out of reach, ensuring your focus remains entirely on pleasing them. Then there is the classic narcissist maneuver known as projection. This is when they cannot tolerate the negative qualities within themselves, like cheating, lying, or emotional coldness, so they unconsciously or consciously place those faults onto you. If they are actively cheating, they will accuse you of being unfaithful. If they are emotionally abusive, they will constantly call you an abuser. This tactic is doubly damaging because not only do they escape accountability, but they also force you into a defensive position, diverting attention from their own harmful actions and leaving you scrambling to defend yourself against false accusations. Projection creates incredible cognitive dissonance for the victim. You know you aren't the monster they describe, but their conviction is so powerful and their accusations are so relentless that you start to wonder if maybe, just maybe, they're right. This constant questioning of your character drains your emotional energy, making you less effective at resisting their manipulation. They are essentially using your empathy against you, because a caring person will always stop to consider if they might be at fault, while the narcissist never will, exploiting your willingness to self-reflect. The silent treatment, or stonewalling, is a particularly cruel form of emotional manipulation used to punish you for independent thought or challenging behavior. When they feel threatened or exposed, they don't engage in a healthy discussion. They completely withdraw, treating you as if you don't exist. This silence is deafening because it triggers your deepest fears of abandonment and rejection, causing you immense pain and forcing you to chase them for reconciliation, even if they were the ones who initiated the conflict. The narcissist uses the silent treatment as leverage. They are effectively saying, "I will only give you attention and warmth when you behave exactly as I want you to." This technique trains you to be hyper-vigilant about their moods and subservient to their demands, because the pain of their withdrawal is too great to risk upsetting them again. They are conditioning you like a puppy, rewarding obedience with intermittent affection and punishing independence with crushing emotional abandonment, ensuring total control over your emotional landscape. Another subtle tactic is future faking. This is when they promise a perfect life, a dream vacation, or finally changing their behavior, but only ever talking about it in the distant future. They use these shiny, far-off promises to keep you invested in the present misery, giving you just enough hope to stick around. They never actually intend to follow through, but the mere promise serves as a powerful manipulative tool, maintaining your compliance and preventing you from leaving the relationship today. Future faking works because it taps into your desire for a happy resolution. You think, if I just hold on a little longer, everything will be perfect, just like they promised. This is a classic bait-and-switch operation, where the bait, the future ideal, is used to keep you hooked while the switch, the current reality of abuse, is conveniently ignored, delaying your realization that they are fundamentally incapable of giving you the stable relationship you crave. As the relationship progresses, the narcissist often employs triangulation. This involves bringing a third party into your relationship dynamics to create competition, instability, and jealousy. This might be an ex, a coworker they overly praise, or even a relative. They subtly compare you to this third person, making you feel inadequate and driving you to work harder for their attention and validation, ensuring they always remain the highly desired prize. Triangulation doesn't always involve a romantic rival. Sometimes the third party is the victim's own mother, a friend, or even a therapist, whom the narcissist paints as overly protective or judgmental. The goal is to isolate you from your support system by making you feel like anyone outside the relationship is fundamentally misunderstanding your special connection, strengthening your belief that the narcissist is your sole defender and confidant against a judging world. When they feel their control slipping, the narcissist might unleash flying monkeys. These are friends, family members, or mutual acquaintances who have been successfully manipulated by the narcissist's masterful performance of victimhood. The narcissist spins tales of your erratic behavior, your selfishness, and your cruelty, mobilizing these unwitting pawns to harass you, criticize you, or demand that you apologize for imaginary offenses, effectively externalizing the manipulation. Dealing with flying monkeys is exhausting because they genuinely believe they are helping an innocent victim, the narcissist. They are simply reflecting the narcissist's narrative back to you, adding immense social pressure to the abuse you are already enduring, which serves to further isolate you and validates the narcissist's claim that you are the crazy one, because now everyone is seeing your alleged dysfunction and confirming their version of events. Let's talk about the insidious emotional mechanism that keeps victims trapped: trauma bonding. This is not love. It's an attachment created by a cycle of abuse followed by intermittent kindness. The intense emotional swings, from extreme pain and fear to sudden, overwhelming closeness, creates a potent, addictive chemical reaction in the brain, similar to Stockholm Syndrome, making the victim feel intensely connected to the person who is simultaneously causing them harm. Trauma bonding ensures that every moment of relief or kindness after a period of abuse feels magnified and extraordinarily meaningful. Your brain registers that fleeting moment of peace as proof that the narcissist isn't all bad, reinforcing the hope that if you just behave better, the kindness will become permanent. This neurological addiction is why leaving the relationship feels almost physically impossible, because you are withdrawing from a chemically induced attachment cycle. Another key manipulation tactic is feigned incompetence. They might suddenly become incapable of handling basic tasks, paying bills, managing children, or dealing with simple scheduling, forcing you to take on the entire burden of running the household or the relationship. This isn't laziness. It's a power move that ensures you remain indispensable and overburdened, leaving you with less time, energy, and resources to focus on your own life or orchestrate an escape. The use of word salad is a brilliant, confusing tool they employ during arguments. When confronted with undeniable facts, they launch into a dizzying, circular stream of non sequiturs, contradictory statements, and irrelevant details. The goal isn't to make sense. The goal is to confuse you, frustrate you, and exhaust you until you give up trying to achieve resolution, leaving the argument inconclusive, but ensuring the narcissist retains the upper hand through sheer, overwhelming cognitive chaos. This relentless manipulation leads to a state called cognitive dissonance, where your deep desire to see the person you love as good clashes violently with the overwhelming evidence that they are consistently hurting you. Your mind tries desperately to reconcile these two opposing realities, often defaulting to blaming yourself to maintain the illusion that the relationship is safe, because admitting the truth, that the person you love is dangerous, is too terrifying to face. The narcissist thrives in the fog: fear, obligation, and guilt, which they carefully manufacture. Fear keeps you compliant, terrified of their next outburst or withdrawal. Obligation keeps you serving their needs, feeling responsible for their happiness and stability. Guilt ensures you believe you are constantly letting them down, making you work harder to earn their non-existent approval, binding you in a psychological net that feels impossible to break through or ignore. They are masters of pity plays, positioning themselves as eternal victims of life, circumstance, or, most frequently, your lack of support. They use these tragic stories, often exaggerated or fabricated, to emotionally leverage you into complying with their demands or excusing their bad behavior. You feel too sorry for them to hold them accountable, believing that they can't help their actions because they've suffered so much, while in reality, this is just another form of emotional blackmail. The manipulation often includes subtle negging, giving backhanded compliments or veiled insults that are designed to undermine your confidence while maintaining plausible deniability. They might say, "You look great today, much better than usual," or, "It's sweet you tried to organize that, even though you're not great with details." These seemingly small, casual remarks erode your self-esteem slowly, making you doubt your value and increasing your need for their validation, even if it comes mixed with subtle cruelty. The most important realization is that narcissistic manipulation is not about miscommunication, It is about systematic, intentional control. They are playing chess while you believe you are playing checkers. They don't engage in fair arguments or emotional vulnerability. Their reality is a constant campaign to extract supply, attention, admiration, and control from you. And they will use any covert technique necessary to maintain that parasitic feeding arrangement, often cloaked in the guise of genuine love or concern. So, how do you fight back against a ghost? You fight back with clarity. Once you can name the tactic, gaslighting, projection, silent treatment, it loses its power to confuse you. You stop trying to argue with their false reality because you understand that their goal is not resolution, but domination. Seeing the manipulation for what it is allows you to finally detach emotionally from the game they are forcing you to play, recognizing that their drama is their issue, not a reflection of your worth. The key to unlocking freedom is setting and enforcing firm boundaries, understanding that a narcissist will instantly attack any boundary you set. When they use projection, you don't defend yourself. You calmly state, "I will not discuss this while you are attacking my character." When they use the silent treatment, you don't chase them. You engage in an activity that brings you joy, demonstrating that their withdrawal no longer holds the power to cripple your emotional state. This journey of realization is painful, but it is necessary for recovery. Understanding how covert manipulation works shifts the power dynamic entirely. You move from being a confused victim who is constantly questioning their sanity to an informed survivor who can observe the tactics without internalizing them. You are no longer navigating blindly in the fog. You are charting a course towards safe harbor, guided by your own unshakable internal truth. Remember, the narcissist wants your confusion because confusion guarantees compliance. Clarity is their kryptonite. Every time you identify a manipulation technique, you chip away at their ability to control your perception. Your sanity, your reality, and your future happiness are the most valuable assets you possess. And recognizing these covert attacks is the crucial defense needed to protect them, allowing you to prioritize peace over the exhausting pursuit of their impossible approval. You are not crazy, you are not too sensitive, and you are not defective. You are reacting normally to abnormal, relentless emotional abuse, and that is the truth they work so hard to conceal. Take a deep breath, absorb this knowledge, and know that you deserve stability, honesty, and unconditional respect. Seeing the manipulation is the painful, crucial first step to walking away and rebuilding a life where your feelings and memories are safe and validated. If this content resonated with you, and if recognizing these manipulation tactics has given you even a sliver of peace or clarity, please let me know in the comments below. Sharing your story not only helps you process, but also offers critical support to others walking this difficult path. Hit that like button if you're ready to reclaim your sanity. Subscribe to join our community focused on healing and growth, and share this video with anyone you think might be trapped in the cycle of covert manipulation. Your support means the world. And remember always, trust your gut, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.